to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razavan, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast Manchester. Johnny Nelson with me. John?
We've sabotaged his camera work. He's no idea. So he's going to see what you've done. I'm keeping out of it. I'm the good guy.
Listen, you said to me, whose camera is that? And I said, it's X's camera. You said, roll it. I started to roll it. And then you left your comments on that camera, which you will probably see when it's on his laptop.
Our comments. Wait, incoming. Yo.
Johnny, Manchester, another fight week. Natasha Jonas, top of the bill. Talk to me.
Good fight. On paper, I think it's a tough fight for Natasha, if I'm honest with you. And people seem to just be disregarding that. You care. Former IBF champion, had it twice. Only loss on her career was against Shields. Look on YouTube. Watch that fight. She gives Shields a run for her money, and she's a big unit. And you'd think to yourself, Natasha's on the roll. Success breeds success. But this is one of those fights where I'm worried for her in this one, because Decare can fight as well as box. Yes, the carrot is, Shields is talking about dropping down a weight and coming back to the UK to fight Tash, and I'm quite sure for Tash it's hard for her to just keep an eye on that ball. Quite sure she will, but potentially it's a good fight. It is a really good fight.
I spoke to Tasha last week in the gym, and she said, I asked her, the Katie Taylor rematch, Croke Park, or Clarissa Shields, and she had to think. She was like, I'm not sure which one I would want, but because they both appeal to her so much for different reasons.
I don't know if this is going to be very popular. I'd go Katie Taylor route. I'd go the Katie Taylor route because Katie Taylor's a goddess, but I think she's slipping. So therefore, try and get her third time lucky. Because each time those who fought, they've gone hell for leather. She won't be getting the best Katie Taylor. So I think if you're going to do it now, if you can, while you can. Rather than go Shields. Shields is... I ain't never betting against her again. She's on fire, man. I ain't never betting against her again.
Dalton Smith crosses the pond from Matchroom DAZN and comes to Sky. And I said to him, and I said to obviously Casey Benjamin as well, I said normally when you have a profile like Dalton has that Matchroom DAZN are trying to create, he headlined in Sheffield back in August. If they lose the purse bid, they'll want to withhold their fight and say, we don't want our fight to go on another platform. But Dalton said to me, no. For me, I wanted the fight. I wanted to make sure that I get this opportunity no matter what platform it's on. What does that show about him as a fighter?
Dalton Smith is a very, very talented seeker that is all of a sudden being heard and seen. Dalton Smith can box, he can fight, he can punch. Dalton Smith has his feet on the ground, developing so well. Dalton Smith, you look at his career, he's doing it the traditional way, establish himself at the domestic level for the British title. Then, hopefully again, there's not many fighters doing it, go for the Commonwealth through European, that gets you respect on a world level. Dalton Smith is getting better through each fight. Look at how he's walking through, breathing through domestic level fighters. So he's learning his craft, but he's also achieving success at the same time. This young man, I like the path he's going. I like the way he's going about it. I like the talent he has. He can box as well as bash. And I like the fact that he's from Sheffield. But he can fight, joking aside. And I think this young man, he'll be respected on the world level. He needs to breeze through domestic level. There's not many fighters from the UK that become world champion that actually had the British title or had the Lonsdale belt. There's not many of them that have actually done that. They've leapfrogged that. But he's doing it the traditional way, so I respect him.
A lot of people are saying Dalton Smith and Adam Mazim potentially down the line could be a huge fight. Talk to me a little bit about Adam Mazim. Just signed an extension to his deal with Sky in boxing.
That is a big fight, and there's no reason why that should happen now. We talked about Adam Mazim against Chima, and they were trying to build it up, and I said, you know what, put them together now, because Chima's going to get turned over sooner rather than later. It was going to happen, it is. And so if it's going to happen, you do that now. Don't wait for it. If you want to build up with Smith and wait. I can't see anybody beating these guys yet. So therefore, you can wait a few fights, and that again, that'll be one of those fights you think, shit, that's something you can build up. It's something you can do this time next year. Good fight.
A lot of people talking on Twitter, when are we going to see Johnny Nelson do an exhibition in the ring? Listen, I've said to everybody, look, his hips are gone, they've been replaced, there's no chance he gets in the ring. But you know, listen, there's all these surgeries and procedures that can take place now. Maybe you can go in the ring and just walk around.
Number one, I'm a machine. All right, I all washing machine, but I'm a machine. Number two, I actually, you know what, I rate Ricky. I saw him walk in with his crew. Looks in great condition here, and I think getting prepared for this has helped him mentally, physically, emotionally. And he says, I'm going to make it my lifestyle now, and I like that. So there's a positive comes out of it. Boxing is a drug. It's something you can't let go of. You see fighters coming out of retirement where they're never going to achieve what they achieved in the heights of their career. I'm one of them. But you know, someone could come along and they could say, you know what, fight X, Y, Z. And I know at one point, Oliver McCall, we were going to do it. And Oliver McCall sent a video trying to push up the fight and want me to post it out. I said, I ain't posting it out. I'm not doing it. Because Oliver, no disrespect to him, looked old. And I thought, what am I doing, Johnny boy? You ain't going to, there you go. I still spar, I still do the odd exhibition with people that think fighting's easy, that I've never fought before in their life. But nah, man, I'm done. I've had a great time. Unless Jake Paul came along and said, yo, let's do it now, kick his ass. But again, it's about, you know, I've had a great time. I'm never going to achieve what I achieved in the past. But I think what Ricky's doing, Ricky's in a great position to still attract his fans, you know, make them all nostalgic and sing along, and so good on it. Good for Ricky.
I know Ricky said that, look, let's see how he feels after Saturday night if he wants to do any more. A man that said, look, he'll love to do an exhibition in the UK, who's fighting on Sunday in Dubai, Floyd Mayweather. Surely, if Floyd's going to do an exhibition in the UK, the ideal opponent's going to be Ricky.
Yeah, you understand that, but can Floyd do an exhibition tipping and tapping? We've seen the exhibitions he's done so far with these YouTubers. There ain't much tipping and tapping there. Floyd is obviously not the Floyd we know because he's older. So again, can Floyd, will his ego let him just steady this boat and say, yo, you know, we'll just tip and tap? Nah. So if that happens, that is something that's you can see actually getting a bit out of hand. But you know, if the interest is there and the readies are there, it will happen.
Conor Benn, last couple of maybe 8-9 days, things have gone a little bit quiet. He's relinquished his license, as you know. I think the WBC have removed him from their rankings as well. Even though I think something came out from Conor's team to say, look, he's not suspended, he's not banned, but it's a mess, isn't it, right now?
It is a mess, and again, I've heard the word panned around, muddying the waters, and that's what people are doing. They're throwing their two penalty to us in. He should have done that, he should have done this, X, Y, Z should have happened. Conor Benn was found with a banned substance in his system. The British Boxing Board of Control, he gave his licence in to say, for whatever reason he did, what should happen unless otherwise notified, he should get a ban. He cries out his innocence. That's all we got to hear. We got to listen to what he's saying. But if he doesn't say anything, he's just got to take your licks, man. You know, take the ban. When you decide to box on, you're going to come out from under that shadow, and it's going to take time. Unfortunately, every time he boxes, that's what people will talk about, and that's just it. So it doesn't matter what Eddie should have done, or Simon Jordan saying, or what the Zone have said, or X, Y, Z, or to me, I actually, the most sensible thing I heard said was by Chris Eubank Senior. And I actually thought, well, I get that. I do get what you're saying. And he said, you know, Conor Benn, and he kind of backed Conor Benn, but he said, just remember this. And you've got to think about this as well. If you're boxing, Conor Benn needs to have the knowledge to understand what he's taking, what he isn't taking, or mistakenly or knowingly. But if you're in my team, and 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 I go to boxing board and say, right, I'm boxing this fight, and we'll be drug tested for it, and the boxing board said, right, everybody in the team is responsible. So if he fails the drug test, you're all suffering the consequences. He may get the fine, but you'll all get the ban. So if you're on a few grand for his fight, but you're making money with other fighters, you're not going to turn a blind eye. You're not going to think, I didn't see that, I didn't know nothing. The only name that's being panned about is Conor Benn. Just you name me two other people that are attached to this, who advised him, who's told him what to take, who you've got to... The only person that's being called out is Conor's. And you're not telling me Conor's done that by himself. If he did do it intentionally.
But isn't he still ultimately responsible for what goes in his body?
And I get that. And he's responsible. And that team that's with him, that team that's on his team, they've got to see we're part of the team. And so you'd be less inclined to turn a blind eye if you were on that team. If you knew you were going to be, it was going to affect your living down the line, because you'd get a 2-year, 4-year ban because you can't work with anybody else. You'd be less inclined, and the board will see less of these things happening if that was the case. And a fighter would take more of a responsibility to think, if I fuck up, I'm messing everybody else's career up here. And so Chris was kind of right in what he was saying, and the board could make a difference there in doing something so simple. And if people had a problem with it, well, that tells you everything.
From the other side, we're hearing that. Why is Chris Eubank Senior doing interviews? Why is Spencer Ferrer and Tunde Ajayi speaking to him on the phone? Why is TalkSport interviewing? Why is Spencer Oliver interviewing him when he's been sectioned under the Mental Health Act? And Chris Eubank Senior then said himself that the only reason that happened to me because of the fight. The fact that you were bringing my son down to a weight which was unrealistic, that's what got me to that stage. The fact that it's been cancelled, I'm fine and I'm happy now.
So this is a human side to it. I've never lost a child. You've never lost a child. So I can't tell you what that feels like. I can't tell you the fear of that. Just the thought of that alone for me terrifies me, breaks my heart. So you can imagine how much it would mad you up. You know, if your son's not listening to his son, please don't do this. Yeah, I've lost one son already. I totally get Chris's frustration, his heartbreak, the things he said, but realistically, what has he said publicly that would make you think, well, you know, you're unstable, so just ignore what he's saying? He's not really said anything. To me, he's actually been the most sensible out of everybody. So regardless of what's happening away from that part there, Chris is actually, you know, he's reacted like any parent would. He said what anybody with any common sense would say. And realistically, you know, he has no vested interest in it because his son loses money, but he's doing the right thing. And so he's the only one that's talking to say, you know what, this shouldn't happen. Everybody else has got a vested interest in it some way, somehow. So they'll fight the corner, or they'll pretend they haven't heard something or whatever. So Chris, you know, I rate him.
What do you make of this beef? You mentioned his name earlier, Simon Jordan and Eddie Hearn, back and forth. I know Eddie went on TalkSport, but obviously Simon Jordan wasn't there on that particular programme. But this whole back and forth, and Simon trying to say, look, Eddie, answer a proper question, and Eddie's saying, look, I will answer, I've just been busy, but then offering him out in a fight. And
but, you know, first of all, why is Eddie getting a backlash for this? You know, what's happened with Conor is Conor's responsibility. Why is Eddie getting a backlash? He's getting a backlash because of how he reacted to it. Let's deal with what's happened with Conor first, because what's happened is they're saying, Eddie, you should have said this, you should have said that, you should have said this, but again, we're muddying the waters. Deal with the facts. We can all argue and say you should have said this and you should have said that. I'd love to see Simon Jordan and Eddie in a room with a microphone and a camera there, because Eddie's met his match with Simon, and so that's another argument. You know what I mean? It might not even just be about that issue, but I'd love to see them together. Because Simon, he don't care. Come on, sue me. We've got to check ourselves. Nobody wants to get sued, so we've got to be careful what we say. But Simon Jordan's like, come on, bring it on. He's got big corners. So like Simon Jordan or not, he's actually asking the questions that most people think wouldn't want to say. So I'd like to see that. but not just about that subject, about many subjects. I'd like to see him in that situation.
Finally, got an appetite for Fury-Chisora? Honestly?
I'm going to watch it. Of course I'm going to watch it, but in reality, what's going to change? They boxed each other twice already. Tyson Fury, look, he's coming back out of retirement, whatever he was doing, to fight. And he's fighting a UK fighter to create the interest. It's the Tyson Fury show. Tyson Fury could fight anybody, and they'll say people that are going to watch this fight are going to watch it again. Fury-Chisora is a warmonger, he'll go in there, give it his all. But I just think it's not. I think they're going to struggle. In my opinion, I think they're going to struggle to really sell it to the public. But the public will watch. It's the Tyson Fury show.
Okay, Johnny, any final comments? What's happening in Manchester this week? Any parties?
I don't do that anymore. I'm a respectable man. I'm not a youngster like you. You can give me the bird as much as you want. I am going to go to the fight and go to my bed straight after, as I usually do.
Room 206, Crown Plaza. Johnny Nelson, IFL TV, thank you very much.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife for saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.